Slightly different for us. We're just a different type of folk. And it's okay. We are being stimulated with a lot of influences from external factors. And we are actually also depending on those external factors to give us the motivation, to give us the inspiration, to create the beautiful things that we are here all to create. Now for myself, I love to go to the city. I love to be in the city amongst people, just not too long, not too long, not too long, not too long. I like to be in the city. I like to look around. I like to watch people, observe people, just take in what is going on. And all of that is like stimulating my own creative source. And from that, I create my work. So I know how important it is for me to be in touch with everything that's going around me. So therefore, the processing of everything that is coming in is just a little bit different than any other type of profession that is not specifically and directly looking at the creative side and the artistic side of a certain person that has that as a profession. So what does that mean for us? Now, a lot that we are doing, actually for every person, this just goes for every person, is that we process a lot subconsciously. A lot of the information that we are processing is subconsciously. And because our inner world is very lively, bubbly, and we actually depend on our inner world to create those beautiful things that we want to create, it's just a little bit stronger. It has like a exponential effect, for lack of a better word. So for us, everything is just exponentially higher. The way that we process all our stimulances and the way it subconsciously then is going to be processed. The moments that we work, most of us don't work a 9 to 5. Creativity doesn't come from a 9 to 5. Sure, you can structure it, you can organize it, you can even create an agenda and say, I'm going to work for 2 hours and just be busy with it. That is all fine. But our creativity just lingers on for a longer period of time. And sometimes it can happen, it doesn't happen at all. That can happen as well. So the way that our creativity works is just slightly different than what is being portrayed coming from an industrialized type of era that we're still in actually, and also coming from a capitalism type of thinking where there is a 24/7 type of market. The consumption is constantly going, there's no ending. The production is constantly going and there's no ending. And you also see that back into our social media. Now the way that art and creativity and just creative output right now is being produced is slowly getting in towards that direction where people are 24/7 constantly wanting something new, wanting something fresh. It has to be better than the last sculpture. It has to be better than the last painting. It has to be better than anything that you have created. And that puts an amount of stress and pressure on creative and artistic people that we are like, what in the heck is going on? Like, for instance, for myself, I know I can work for hours on. I can work for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. But I need as much, if not double the amount of hours to also release all of that I've been processing physically, mentally, and emotionally. It is a very, I wouldn't say draining work. I'm just more involved in it in a different way than someone would theoretically, analytically, and technically. Again, not saying that arts and creative output doesn't require our analytics, it doesn't require our mental vision, it doesn't require any theory, not at all. But the reason that we are artists is that because we are able to translate stories, pictures, visions, and dreams in a way that a surgeon just can't, or a lawyer can't, or any other person that's not in the creative field can. And you don't have to make any excuses for that. I won't make any excuses for that. It doesn't make it right. The other one is not wrong. It's just a difference. It's just slightly different. So how does taking a break come here into place? Well, there are a lot of studies, and I won't bore you with any numbers or any analytics about that. So for the studies, I would suggest Google is your friend. But what I can definitely say for what I have seen is that one of the biggest writers like Maya Angelou, Paulo Coelho, other type of artists are actually people that are benefiting from the fact that they create their work and they are very, very intensively involved in their work, and afterwards when it's done, they take a break. And a lot of artists, great artists, well-known artists that we all know, heard about, admire, look up to, follow, they do that. And again, for a specific reason. You're human. You're processing a lot of things, and your brain just processes those things in a slightly different way that requires you also to have more downtime. So basically, anything that doesn't involve the normal artsy creative activities that you are doing for your work on day-to-day basis, those are actually activities that make you relax and allow your mind to subconsciously process anything that is going on, but also for your body to mentally, emotionally, to release any of that tension that you're putting in. Because let's be honest, anybody who's working, doesn't matter what type of job you have, you are intensively involved with those activities. And there is a level of stress. Now, some stress is durable, some stress is needed, but an excessive amount of stress, that is of course something that nobody wants in their life. So you can think of activities for yourself that really could help. Taking a walk, reading, just going on a vacation. Sometimes it's just mindless going through your social media, or doing outdoor activities, indoor activities, fitness, climbing, whatever, fill in the blank, whatever fulfills your spirit, whatever would make you think, I really feel rested and I really feel that I am able to charge myself up for whatever amount of time that is necessary. Do that. Focus on that. Now, how long can a break be? How long would it benefit us, meaning artists and creative people, to really recharge themselves? Now, that's something that only you can decide for yourself. I know that I allow myself to take the time that is necessary for me to recharge, because next to the painting, the social media, and the content creating, it just takes on a lot of my time and a lot of my energy. And I know that I'm the type of person who's really open to all those stimulances, and I allow myself to be open, but I also need outlets. And I have to use those outlets like sporting, fitnessing, walking, just taking a break, meditating, to really release whatever it is that is still hanging on in my vibes or in my body or in my mind. I really need those things to happen, because I will definitely just go crazy. Now, what are the downsides of not taking your rest, not taking a break, or just saying, you know what, I'm going along with the 24/7 type of culture. I need to produce, and people are consuming every single minute. Now listen, that is of course a personal decision. That's a decision that only you can make, and you know what you're capable of. Some people just have, a higher tolerance than others. And what I really find important, a perspective that I think that you should look at, is what is important to you. What do you consider to be something that is high tolerant, and what other activities are low tolerant? Only you get to decide what is tolerable for you, right? What is your tolerance level? But you don't want to get to the point where you're like, I am past my threshold and now I cannot get back, which could actually lead to a burnout, and nobody wants to be there. Trust me, nobody wants to be there. A burnout is basically and I'm not saying this in the correct medical terms, but if we're just talking, us fam together, listen, burnout is just a place where you're like, your brain is shutting down, your body's shutting down because it's not capable of processing when it needs to rest. And because you went over that particular border, the systems are shutting down immediately. So that is a place where you really do not want to be in. That's a place where we as creators, we as artists really, really don't want to be in, right? It comes with a lot of consequences when you're in there. You have to think about safety nets, financial safety nets, social safety nets. You have to think about how are you going to produce your work. Now you're not producing your work. You have to think about yourself, of course. How are you now going to make sure that you learn more about yourself and learn about your body and learn how to put the right boundaries? So those are places that we really don't want to be in. Let's be in the places where we can make those boundaries, we can stick to them, we can set them properly, communicate them also properly, and enjoy our time and downtime at the same time. I really felt that I wanted to talk about this because I feel that it is a subject that is not talked about enough. I hear, see, and witness a lot about how we are constantly producing new things and people are also consuming so much and so fast, and it's like we can keep up with it. It doesn't matter how much we keep up with it, you just can't keep up with it. And I want to give this platform actually the place where we get to say it's okay. You don't have to be in that treadmill. Don't let the art and the love for the creativity and the love for the art that you have as a person, as a professional, hold you back, right, from producing what you want to produce when you want to produce it. Now, of course, there are deadlines, like I already said. Certain things are just necessary, but know where to put your boundaries, and it's okay to set those boundaries, right? Because eventually it all comes down to you. Okay, so now it's almost time for me to say goodbye. Before I leave, hit that subscription button and also that notification bell. And you already made it to the end of this video, right? Good. So like this video, push it further into the social stratosphere. And for now, I'm going to say have a great day, be blessed, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.